Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to Daydream with Barnard. It's me, Jess. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're one of our friends that have been with us for a while, thank you for everything and welcome back. And so with today's video, I'm going to be sharing some things that I have been completely embarrassed by being a foreigner in England. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into it. And it's something that has happened here recently, and I will probably never have it happen again. So number one is going to be asking for something to go or something to be for takeaway. Just don't. I wanted to run away and hide. It was when we were just here recently at a nice pub sitting down as a family, and we were unable to eat all of our food on our plates. And I asked if we could get it to go or for takeaway or put in a doggy bag. It's not something that was offered, but they done it because we were American, and oh my gosh, how utterly embarrassed I was. I wanted to run away and hide, and I profusely apologized for the inconvenience, and I said that it would never happen again, and it won't. It will never happen again. So yeah, it's just something that they had a set menu, and it is something that is, you know if they're going to allow it or not. And most of the time they have it on the menu or they have it on their website when you make the reservations. I made the reservations. I did not see that on the website. That was my fault. So I felt horrible. So always make sure, if you want something to take away, make sure you know if it's allowed or not. It's just something. Learn from my experience. I don't want you to experience that. Lord have mercy, that was so embarrassing. So I'm going to jump into number two. So number two is asking if they accept a tip. I've had people look at me and they're like, that's so American of you. I'm like, oh gosh. Again, I'm so sorry. I just want to be kind, and I want to do something. Like if someone went out of their way or they have made like a really good meal for us or had extremely exceptional service, I always want to pay my respects and offer them a little extra money, because I don't know how much they get for their job, and I don't know how much they get for actually waiting or serving our table. So it's just something, or at a bar or a pub or at an event, I always want to pay someone their dues because I appreciate what they do, and it's just who I am, and it is something that has been ingrained in me, but is something that I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop. But it is something that I have been completely and utterly embarrassed by. So just something that I do, and I can't help it. So yeah, I think that is my number two, is just trying to tip everybody. So yeah, it is what it is. So number three is going to be when I am in a queue. And this was when we were first here. I've mentioned it a long time ago, but we have a lot of new people, so I'm going to mention it again, is I was not familiar with the coins. And so whenever I was trying to check out, or I felt like I was a bother, especially paying with cash and, trying to remember what coin is what and trying to give people the correct change and not having to bring out a bill or a note. if I had the change, I would like to get rid of the change instead of having to break a bill and having more coins. So it's just one of the things that I have been completely embarrassed. And now I know the coins and I know the bills by just looking at them. So it's something that now we don't struggle with, but it is something that was extremely embarrassing in the beginning. I'm pretty sure a bunch of people that go over to other countries experience the same thing. Yes, you can look at it, but that takes time to go through your entire change purse to find the exact change. And people that are impatient may be behind you. So it's like I wanted to hide again, something that I experienced and I was embarrassed by. So yeah. Number 4 is going to be forgetting my reusable bag. I don't struggle with that anymore because now we always have one in the boot, or I always carry one. So it is not something that embarrasses me anymore, but having to like try and carry all of your groceries or your items out in your arms because you don't want to have to pay for a bag when you know you have reusable bags that you always forget. But now it's not something that is a reoccurrence. We always have a bag with us, or we have one in the boot that one of us can run out to the car and grab it. So it's not something that we struggle with anymore or embarrassed about anymore. We make the effort to bring one with us all the time now. So, but for a while it was very embarrassed trying to remember those reusable bags because we have a plethora of them. But it's remembering to bring them. So now we just have a plethora in the back of the boot of both of the vehicles, and we don't have to worry about it. So yeah, it's just remembering them before you go into the store. So you don't have to walk out and then walk back in. It's still a struggle, but it is what it is. Oh, I may have touched the microphone. So sorry if you heard a little interruption. Number 5 is going to be struggling pronouncing places and pronouncing them correctly. And I think everybody does that, especially when they're going over to another country. I do my best. Google tells me wrong, and then sometimes my friends don't even know, and they've told me wrong. So, or they look at me and they're like, what? What are you trying to say, Jess? So it's one of those things that I just give it my best. That is something that I have been struggling with and still embarrassed to this day. And I don't think it's going to get any easier, but it is something that I do try and correct if I know I have been pronouncing it wrong. I try to do it right from going forward, but it is something that I still struggle with and get extremely embarrassed by. But, it is what it is. Number 6 is going to be asking for a restroom or a bathroom. I did not know that was like a hot button topic. And people get really offended. They're like, well, that's not a restroom, or you don't go and take a bath in there. It's just a toilet. Or you don't go and take a rest in there. Oh, okay. Yes, but in the US, that is what it's called, a rest area where they provide toilets and you can rest. Or a bathroom normally has a bathroom, a shower or a bathtub in it when you go over to someone's house. Here, there are homes that have a toilet in another room, so you ask for the toilet. So yeah, it's just something that I have been embarrassed by, but now I ask for the toilet or the loo, and it's no big deal. So yeah. But whenever I was first here and I would ask for the restroom, people would look at me like, it's not a restroom, it is a toilet. You do not go and rest in there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. Whoops, whoopsie daisy. Just Americanisms. My Americanisms are showing. Pardon me. So number 7 is going to be getting on to the wrong tube. Okay, so we're we're not city folks, we're country folks. And especially on top of that, we're not from here. And so we kind of not only got on the wrong tube, we got into the wrong area on the tube and we did not know. So just make sure you're in the right area and you're on the right tube, or you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to get on and get off again and find the right one, or you're going to have to pay because you've rode in the wrong area. So just don't do as I do. Just make sure you're doing it right. Is what I can say. I don't know what right is, but just follow people and don't be scared to ask a question. That's all I can say. Yeah. So number 8 is going to be turning up to a restaurant without a reservations. You know, you're not normally in the US, the bigger restaurants, or, you know, most of the time they're going to have tables for you, because in the US they want to just turn you and burn you and just get you in and out as fast as possible. But here, it is not something, it's just like a leisurely thing. You go and have a meal and you have a good time. And so they give you a decent, like 2 to 3 hour window for your reservations. So if you don't book ahead, you may not even get a table. So that was extremely embarrassing, turning up to a place and being turned away because we did not make reservations, which they were really kind. And they said, hey, make reservations here. But it is something that you want to just do. From here on out, I will always make reservations and I won't have to have that embarrassment anymore. Again, yeah. So learn from what I've done. Don't do as I do. Number 9 is about Chris. It's about my sweet, sweet husband. One, he is a little hard of hearing, and 2, accents are really big for him. He has a hard time understanding, so he'll look at me and want me to translate for him. And most of the time, people are around, and so I'm trying to translate English to my English-speaking husband. Love him to bits. And I asked him if I could share that, and he said yes, because he knows it's not something that is easy, and you all probably have a hard time sometimes understanding me if I do not speak clearly or if I speak quick. It is something that is hard to understand someone, especially if you don't understand the accent. So my sweet husband, that is something that I get really embarrassed about, and I know he does as well, because he just doesn't understand, and he definitely tries, and then we'll try to walk away, but people are still around, and we're trying to have a conversation about what was just said, so he is not completely lost or just love him to bits. And he's trying, and he does a wonderful job all the time. So yeah. So that is my number 9. So number 10 is a doozy. I do not talk about politics, and I never will. And it is something in the US that is definitely, I guess, considered rude to talk about or to ask about. And sometimes I get very embarrassed about people coming up to me and being like, what's going on in your country? Lordy B, I'm not there. I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't. And I don't really want to know sometimes. And sometimes it's really embarrassing to be told something that's going, informed about something that's going on in your country that is maybe not the entire thing, or, it's just a brief synopsis of what people are understanding or what the media is telling them. And it's just one of those things that's really embarrassing, because I don't like politics, and I don't like what's going on in my country, but I know that it's my country, and But yeah, it's just like, all I know is that I want everybody to get along, and I won't ask anybody, hey, what's going on in your country? Because, you know, you have your good and your bad. And right now, the U.S. is not, it's doing great, but it's having some growing pains right now. And that's what I can say. And I just have to know that it will work itself out. If I know anything, the right person will get the job, and I just have to know that it will all be what it needs to be. And I have faith in that, and I have the confidence in our country, because the United States is a great place, just like Great Britain and just like every other country that I have had the pleasure of being able to live in, and England being one of the places that I absolutely love. And I understand that there are some things that's going on over here right now, but I am sending out positive thoughts to everyone, and, you know, just know that I am here, and I absolutely adore each and every one of you guys. And everybody has my thoughts right now, because what's going on in the world, we just need a lot more kindness and a lot more love. And so I think with that, I'm going to say, as always, be good, make good choices, and be kind to someone today. Bye, y'all. Mwah. Number 4, where are the... That was a bird. Oh my God, I thought there was a dog outside. I thought there was a loose dog or one of my dogs outside. So, oh, my heart.